All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught me this truth. And shalom to you, sincere Akim, out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. And shalom to the few sincere Akwath that are out there listening and learning as well. With that being said, out of one Ratazah, this to be edifying. As usual, I'm going to go into Rakah Kwadash. And this shouldn't be too long. I just really wanted to spotlight this movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly implore you to watch it. It's a very, very good movie. The elder apostles in Connecticut were mentioned it. I believe it was the elder apostle Tazadakba. I believe that's his name. Salaki, if I'm off. But like again, the elder apostles in Connecticut, they were mentioned in this movie, so I decided to check it out. And I saw it, but I heard of it, but it didn't really pique my interest. But once the elder apostle was going in, I said, let me check it out. And yeah, man, it's a fire movie, man. So far, I haven't finished it. I'm about maybe an hour in. The movie's 3.5 hours long, so heads up. It's a very long movie, 3.5 hours long. But so far, man, fire movie. Good actors, of course. Leonardo DiCaprio. You got Robert De Niro. Very good movie. A lot of edification. A lot of very edifying, but also it's just a good watch. So that's pretty much what this lesson's centered around. I'm not gonna really speak too much on the movie. Again, I haven't finished it. I don't really want to spoil anything, but as I'm watching this movie, just a bunch of precepts, is just flooding in my mind. Basically, a quick synopsis so far. Basically, it's about the Osage tribe, Gad. Esau gave the Osage tribe the worst land, They got the worst land, But that land ended up being fruitful, bountiful, and fruitful with oil. They found oil, and that led the Osage nation to be one of the richest people per capita, and on the earth, in the world. They're very wealthy. They had Edomite chauffeurs. They were doing very good. Kind of like Black Wall Street. It was also in Oklahoma. I didn't get to that part yet. But I'm like only an hour into it. But anyway, they're in Oklahoma. Pretty much, from what the elder apostle said, pretty much they were close to Black Wall Street. We all know what happened to Black Wall Street with Tulsa. That was Tulsa, Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they were doing very well, and you had a bunch of Edomites, predominantly Edomite men that saw the Osage, especially the women, as prey, and they started infiltrating that nation by marrying of the women to steal the rights to the oil fields. It's a lot in there, but very, very good movie. I highly implore you to check it out. I'm not going to say too much on it. Again, not really, not trying to spoil anything, but a bunch of precepts was just in my mind. Okay, so I said let me bring it out real quick. While it's fresh on my mind. So of course, the main precept is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Okay, never trust thine enemy. And that's what the number one sentiment you get from this movie. They forgot how well the mother, the woman, the main character, she kind of remembered. She was angry because all her daughters were marrying Edomite men, and she, basically they were dying off. They were killing off the women in various ways to get the land, get the oil, get all the money, and the mother could see it. She had the foresight to see it, and she was like, you're making our blood white. You know, you know, that's why we're dying off. You know, but yeah, that's the number one theme that was in my mind as I'm watching. Never trust thine enemy. Okay, which I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna close out with this scripture. We know it, but also, another scripture that was in my mind is which we know this is talking about the Canaanites, you know, the Hamites pretty much, but you can apply it to Esau and these other heathens, man. We aren't to make any covenant with them. We are not to marry them. Okay? You know? It's okay for especially you women, you know? It's one thing for the man to marry, not even marry, but have concubines to lay with these heathen women, all right? But because the man carries the seed, you all who your father is, okay? But if an Israelite woman lays with a heathen, or like the mole rats, the 1948s like to say goyim, all right? You're killing off your bloodline, your lineage, okay? But the man, if a man lays with a Edomite woman or a Japhetic woman or a Ishmaelite woman, that child is an Israelite, okay? You know. So anyway, the point of the matter is verse 2. Again, when this was applying to, as you can see, pretty much the Hamite nations, right? But you can apply it to these heathens, man. All right. At the end of the day, especially Esau is your enemy, man. He's your number one adversary, and he has a perpetual hatred against you. Okay. And Yahweh Bashim Hawashai put that hatred in him, that enmity. As Rebecca said, why am I thus? And what did Yahweh say? Yahweh say, Salaki. Yahweh said, there's two nations in thy womb, being separated, two manner of people. All right? That's just the way it is. That's the way this story was foretold to play out. The protagonist and the antagonist. In every movie, you got to have a good guy and a bad guy. Yasharallah, Jacob, we are the good guys. Esau, Edom, he is the bad guy. Yahweh created him that way. He created him to be that way. He put that spirit upon him. Okay? So this is again, this is regarding that movie, You can apply it to Esau. Matter of fact, Esau is the modern day Egyptian, Pharaoh. He's in the power seat. We're in spiritually Sodom and Egypt all over again, right? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 7. The main point is in 2. And I start at 1. When the Lord Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, and this is talking about what you know as the land of Palestine, the so-called Holy Land, the land of Israel. Remember, we took that land from the Canaanites, all right? So it says, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivitites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you, and these are all Hamitic nations. And when the Lord Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, and it says, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. This is the main point. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give unto his sons. Again, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. And it says, so will the anger of the Lord Yahweh be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. You see? And that you see that in that movie. Okay? They married those Edomite men, and then, matter of fact, well, prior to that, they were already what they call it, assimilated. They were already conquered, worshiping in that Roman Catholic Church. That's ultimately why they were destroyed like that. why they're in the conditions that they're in now. All the tribes, we all went off. Okay, worship, following behind these heathens. Okay, worshiping their gods. And as it said, it angered Yahweh Bashim Hawashai. And you see a prime example of that in this movie. You know, they got Yahweh Bashim Hawashai blessed them, gave them oil, made them rich. And what did they do? They turned around and made covenants with the heathen, with our number one adversary. Okay, worship their gods. They were in the Roman Catholic Church. You know, so what? The curses overtook them. Okay, if that's making sense. So another one, Exodus 23, and I started at 29. And I will not drive them out before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea. This is talking about the same account, right? When we would go into the land of Canaan, and we would ultimately drive out all them Hamitic nations, and that would be our land. That's our land, okay? That was promised to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay? I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river, for I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. This is the main point again. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto you. Okay? And even King Solomon, you know, fell into that trap. All right? You know? He started building, when he took them concubine women, he ended up building altars to their gods, you know? But Yahweh Bashim Hawashai warned us of this, you know? And again, as an Israelite man, it's nothing wrong with popping these heathen women, okay? But you're not to marry them, okay? You're to have them as a concubine, okay? You know, and as for the Israelite woman, you damn sure is not supposed to be, you shouldn't be with them heathen men, because you're bringing forth their seed, okay? You know, their nation, okay? So anyway, hopefully that's making sense. You know, I'm not trying to be too long, but these are things that was in my mind as I'm watching this movie. Salakia. This is and again, that applied to them Hamitic nations, them Canaanites, but how much more, if that applied to them, how much more so to Esau, our chief adversary, okay? How much more so to Esau, okay? This is Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent, and matter of fact, there's a scene when she's talking in the Osage, the language, and basically Leonardo Leo is trying to woo her, and trying to flatter her and charm her, and she says something to him in her Osage language, and he said, "What'd you call me? A handsome devil?" And there's another scene when they liken him unto a serpent. Her sisters, they were talking in their language, and they were referencing Leo, and the sister said he looks like a snake, which is a serpent, and the chick that he married, Molly, she called him a coyote, which a coyote is what? Basically a wolf, a ravenous wolf. So they knew that Esau was the enemy. Okay, they knew, but they still chose to lie down with this devil, make a covenant with him, So it is what it is. As I'm gonna close out with, who's gonna feel sorry? We don't feel sorry for you, okay? We know what the scriptures say about the women, silly women laden with lust, Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had made. Okay, and you see that in this movie. Okay, the ringleader was pretty much Al Pacino. They're not Al Pacino, Slovakia. Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro, he came crouching. He came like, you know, like he had their best interests at heart, peaceably. You know, he learned the language. He learned all about him because, as the scriptures say, he's accomplished a diligent search. And, as it's gonna say, though he humble himself, take good heed of him. The whole time he was plotting on plotting on them, how to destroy them and take their wealth. Okay? And then he taught it to the other Edomites, chiefly his nephew, Basically, they looked at the Osage, especially the women, as a lick. Okay? So it says now, and that's how this devil is. He's not your friend, man. He never was, never will be. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had made. And he said unto the woman, hath Yahweh said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And we know what happened. Okay, but that's the point that I want, is the serpent. And that's what they even referenced pretty much Esau as a serpent, as a snake, as a coyote, a wolf. Okay? Genesis, they were fully aware of this devil's characteristics, his MO. But they still turned a blind eye to it. And look at him now. Look at Gad now. Forced onto them reservations, strung out on alcoholics, drugs, destroyed. But hey, that was all prophecy. Gad, a troop shall overcome thee, but thou shalt overcome at the end. Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in the tents. And if you can receive it through the spirit, the serpent pretty much is the same spirit that was on the serpent is the same spirit that's on Esau. Okay, it tells you that that old serpent, the devil, okay? The same spirit. The same spirit that was on Cain, the same spirit that was on the serpent is the same spirit that came back on Cain, and the same spirit that's on Esau. Okay? But the point is he was a cunning hunter. Okay? And let's look up what cunning means in the Common Dictionary. This is off the Oxford, right? So it says cunning, having or showing skill in achieving one's end. Ultimately, what do we know? Esau wants the birthright back. Ultimately, that's his end goal. Okay? But in this movie, he wanted what? The riches, the wealth. Okay? And how does he do it? What does it say about cunning? By deceit or evasion. Okay? And that's how he's deceitful. The deceitful man has many traits. He's cunning, he's slick, crafty, shrewd. Okay? And ultimately, he's always trying to destroy you. Okay? He doesn't care for you, man. He hates you. Okay? He's not your friend, as I'm going to close out with. He's your enemy. All right? Let's see. Deuteronomy 28. It's key points that I wanted to hit, that's why I got it in different tabs. So I wanted to make sure I hit the key points. So I'm going to jump around. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. We know these are the curses that befell Yasharallah, right? For our disobedience, right? So it says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right? And that's what ultimately happened for our disobedience. So it says, Deuteronomy 28:33, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed all way. And you see that's what ultimately happened to Gad. They got oppressed all the way and crushed for our disobedience. Okay? Deuteronomy 28 and 29, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. You know, Gad pretty much got nothing to show for themselves, man. You know, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. And you can see Gad is a completely destroyed nation. Yasharal as a whole, we're destroyed. You know, you know. Deuteronomy 28:43, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. Key scripture, especially in regards to this movie. Okay? It showed you in the beginning, I mentioned that the Osage Nation, because they found gold, they became the wealthiest people per capita in the world. They had Edomites serving them, okay? Right here in America, you know, chauffeuring them around, cooking their foods, you know, but for their disobedience, disobeying the Yahweh Shem Shai, what ended up happening? Look at them now. Nothing, everything was stolen from them. They got oppressed evermore, spoiled, destroyed. And what? Esau came up very high. Those Edomite men that they married, killed them off and took everything from them, The stranger that is within thee shall get up very high, and thou shalt come down very low. You see? That's Gad in a very low state. Okay? Like just a couple of scriptures that was in my mind. Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. That's what our people don't understand, that this man really hates you, man. And I think that's I forget where that's in. Is that Obadiah? Basically, the scriptures tell you that he has a perpetual hatred against his brother Jacob. And that word perpetual means never ending. All right? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Even, he even look at, like I said, Osage Nation. Esau forced them onto the shittiest parts of the land in Oklahoma. The shit they, took the best parts of the land, and Yahweh Bashim Shai ended up blessing them, made them rich with the oil. And then Esau ended up doing what? Envying Gad, Because Yahweh Bashim Shai blessed him. That's his M.O. He's never satisfied. His desire is his hell. He covets fields and takes them by violence, So it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And he's kept that same spirit to this day. As I'm going to read, he got that same energy, and a lot of you gonna realize it too late. A lot of you think this man is your friend, you can change him and all this type of shit. You're sadly mistaken. Esau Edom is putting up a facade. Okay, when his back is against the wall, guess what? That serpent gonna lash out and bite you. That devil gonna show his horns. And he's about to come down with great wrath, knowing that he had but a short time, per Revelation 12:12. He's about to show you his true colors, show you them horns, roll out these unrighteous decrees, put the great squeeze on you. Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. This is the main point. Because he did pursue his brother, who was his brother Jacob, Yasharallah, you tribes, with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. You see, so forever. He hates us forever. He's that hatred, that enmity, is in him forever. Okay? That's why we're never to trust him. Okay? So close out here. Ecclesiasticus 12 and I start at 7. Give unto the good and help not the sinner. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, And that's what happened. Gad got real rich. The Osage Nation got rich. Uh, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the so-called Negroes, started coming up. For example, Black Wall Street. We was becoming doctors. We were becoming lawyers. We had our own, cities. You know, we were, keeping the wealth. Trading amongst ourselves. You know, Black Wall Street. We all know that was a thriving community. You know, and Esau was envious, jealous. All right, you know, same thing when you watch this movie. All right, it says, in the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. That's the main point. Never trust thine enemy, and our number one enemy is Esau. It's been that way since the womb. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And we know iron, no matter what you do, iron is, no matter how much you clean a metal, clean iron, it's going to rust. It's always going to oxidize. You can't, it's inevitable. Okay? The oxidation is going to set in. And that's what it's telling you about Esau, your enemy. No matter how much you try to clean him up, no matter what you do, he's ultimately always going to hate you. He's always going to, resort back to wickedness, because that's his MO. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai made him to take peace from the earth. Esau Edom is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's whipping stick on the left-hand side. As it is written, who can make straight what I have made crooked? Can a leopard change his spots? Can the Ethiopian change his skin? So how can thou do good that is accustomed to doing evil? Okay? Though he humble himself and go crouching, take good heed and beware of him. And that's what Molly's mother was telling him on her deathbed. She was seeing. She been saw it, and she was upset. She was disgruntled that all her daughters were marrying Edomite men. But on her deathbed, she had a vision, and she was like, yeah, this is why we dying off. And it really was Esau was doing all type of fuckery, poisoning them, killing them off, for what? The riches, the oil. Okay? It says, though he humble himself, prime example, Robert De Niro, acting like, he cared about them so much, learned the language, though he humble himself and go crouching, take good heed and beware of him. Yeah, the whole time he's plotting on him. Look, cunning hunter, shrewd, crafty, deceitful. He looking at them as a lick, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away, his wickedness. Set him not by thee. That's why you're not supposed to make no covenant with them, Least when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Prime example is that movie. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. Because ultimately, he always trying to get that birthright back. He always trying to overthrow Jake, man, the accuser of thy brethren. Says, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? All right? And again, like I said, her own sister called him a snake. The Molly herself called him a goddamn coyote. Hey, so it is what it is. It is what it is. We in the conditions that we're in for our disobedience. And you can't say we weren't warned. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai warned us over and over. But hey, Jake is hard-headed. To this day. To this day. That's why only a remnant is going to return. Anyway, with that being said, I don't want to Ratazah. This made sense and it came together. Probably was all over the place. Salaki for that. But definitely check that movie out, man. Very, very good movie. Very spiritual if your eyes are open. And hey, that's that. So keep pushing, keep fighting. We're close. Shalom. Wa abad babal. Kwam Yasharala.